Hi everyone, welcome back to What Guinea Reads. This is me, Shweta, with Guinea and Polumi. Hi Polumi.
Hi, good evening, and nice to be back.
Great. So let's get right to it, Polumi. What is it that you brought for children and Guinea today? And what's so special about
Okay,
this book?
I'm showing it right away, actually, even before waiting. Wings, and the publication is Tulika, and the writer is Kanak Shashi. She is the writer illustrator. So, what I wanted to this is a book, and this is also one of the books we are still staying at our home, though it's quite some time back that we had read it. So child who loves to play like any other child, and draw fairies and do many other things, um, and also wants to wear the dresses that the so she wants to be a fairy, right? She wears dresses, happiest wearing flowers and doing all these things. Everybody keeps on telling that, you're a boy, you're not supposed to be a fairy, you're supposed to be a prince, so on and so forth. And at one point of time, of course, she stops, and people find that she's extremely unhappy, and almost the chatter and everything disappears. And how finally she gets to be this is what the story is all about. It's really told to a child, right? So the nuances is only as adults what we understand, and it's so simply told, right? To accept as they are, to accept individual choices. I think it's a very interesting and a very important book to introduce as early as we can to children, and that's what I thought that this is a lovely book to read. Right. Yeah.
Right. Sounds great. And also, I think very similar to, I think, another book that you brought earlier about how the boy wants to dress up.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Very much like Julian. Wait, right?
Yeah.
Huh? Though Julian was more subtle, it leaves a lot to your imagination. Conflict is already there. That people are saying no. Julian actually is Julian's imagination and resonated by the grandmother, right? It's only the illustration which reveals the world that plays around. Here, the conflict is real. It comes out, and it also shows how unhappy Gutli is to do that. And what is also very important with children at my daughter's age, because she will not understand the interplay of pronouns, but what the author has very consciously done, has always has chosen a pronoun for Gutli, very consciously respecting Gutli's want, right? What she identifies herself to be. I think that is something which will not come so easily to kids. It will take a little bit time, but saying so, I think respecting individual choices and their wants is something very important. And I think most of us who also I think gender plays a very uh, unconscious role also when it comes to that. The kind of toys we often pick, the kind of colors we often pick the market, you will get, it's already very segregated, it's very divided. For it's also as parents, as adults, to make us very conscious about it. This is a very important book. Yeah.
Right. So there are many layers in this. I think
Yeah.
the bit about pronouns that you've introduced, it also sounds like a great place then to start a child with. Because in schools, at this age, I don't think the same will be introduced at all in different ways.
Mm.
Yeah. So which one is the favorite portion, when you and your daughter read it?
I mean, I don't even need to say this one. I think, and especially my daughter, we now know that she's a person who is very expressive and articulate, right? Emotions, I mean, she has a natural way of expressing emotions, and anything any illustration, Shweta, that is very emotive in nature, that shows feelings of a person, is something she naturally gets drawn to, right? And shown in a way that a person is almost dancing, birds all around her, the color is yellow, so it's like a moment of celebration and stuff. And the thing is that here the style that they have followed is almost like a paper cutting style, right? They have painted the paper and that cut and done that. So I think this is the part is very 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 interesting. So it's also very interesting because when we are actually speaking about choices and to respect that, the kind of parenting that we have at house, don't think my daughter will really understand the conflict so much, right? Because for her it was very difficult to understand that if someone wants to wear something, and why is it a big deal. So gender as a social construct is still something she really doesn't understand, that how it is so rigid often and why it creates so much. So that's why we are staying with it at this point in time. She's also curious to understand that why it is so troublesome, and what is the big deal in not allowing someone to be a friend. And I think it's okay to have questions for now, in fact, and not to really process everything at one go.
Right, great. So I hope people pick up this book and introduce it to their family and to children and to everyone around them. Thank you, Paulomi, for bringing this in, and see you next Tuesday.
Sure. Thank you.